The stage is set for a highly anticipated rematch between unified heavyweight champion Oleksandr Usyk and IBF title holder Daniel Dubois. The two will meet on July 19th at Wembley Stadium in London, where the undisputed heavyweight crown will be on the line. But there's a sense of uncertainty surrounding the venue choice. While Wembley is undoubtedly iconic, there are doubts about whether the demand is there for a Usyk-Dubois rematch to fill out the massive stadium. The fight lacks the widespread excitement that typically comes with a showdown of this magnitude, leading many to wonder if a more intimate venue like Wembley Arena would have been a better option. For Dubois, the stakes couldn't be higher. At 27 years old, he's in the midst of a critical juncture in his career. After a series of impressive wins over big names like Anthony Joshua, Filip Hrgović, and Jarrell Miller, he has fought his way back into the spotlight. But now, facing Usyk once more, the risk of losing again looms large. A second defeat to the Ukrainian might not only dent his confidence, but could very well stall his momentum, halting his potential rise in the heavyweight division. His career is hanging in the balance, and a loss could lead to serious questions about his future. This fight has already experienced some scheduling changes. Originally set for July 12th, the rematch was pushed back by a week due to a crowded calendar in New York, where the Shakur Stevenson-Williams-Zepeda fight is taking place alongside several other exciting bouts. For those following the boxing world closely, it's clear that Usyk vs. Dubois is not the only show in town, and the new July 19th date only adds to the unpredictability of what will ultimately draw the attention of fight fans. Despite this, boxing fans have had mixed feelings about the rematch. Many would have preferred to see Usyk face his WBO mandatory challenger Joseph Parker, rather than rehashing his fight with Dubois. After all, most fans remember the first encounter between Usyk and Dubois all too well. The British fighter was quickly overwhelmed, quitting in the face of adversity. It wasn't a memorable moment for those who had hoped to see a competitive contest. However, there's still some buzz around the idea of a second fight. For some, there's a sense of unfinished business. Many fans felt that Dubois was unfairly robbed in their first encounter, especially after dropping Usyk with a brutal body shot in the 5th round. The referee ruled it a low blow, a controversial decision that has kept fans talking ever since. Some feel that Dubois was on the brink of a massive upset, and now, 2 years later, he has a chance to right that wrong. But even with this sense of redemption in the air, there are others who still want to see a different fight altogether, one that pits Dubois against Anthony Joshua in a rematch. After Dubois' knockout victory over Joshua in the 5th round last September, many believe the idea of seeing AJ get a shot at redemption is too enticing to pass up. If Joshua were to lose again, it could spell the end of his career, while a win would silence his critics and renew his place at the top of the heavyweight division. As Dubois prepares for his moment in the spotlight, it's hard to ignore the weight of his previous loss to Usyk. On August 26, 2023, in Wrocław, Poland, Dubois was stopped in the 9th round after being dominated by Usyk. But the memory of that fight is clouded by the controversy surrounding the low blow ruling in the 5th. For many fans, Dubois' performance up until that point suggested that he had Usyk in trouble and was just a punch away from turning the fight in his favor. Whether or not you agree with the referee's decision, it's clear that Dubois has unfinished business with Usyk. This upcoming rematch is as much about redemption as it is about proving that the first fight wasn't a fluke. In many ways, Usyk's success in the heavyweight division has cast a shadow over the British scene. He has decisively beaten 3 of the UK's most beloved fighters: Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, and Daniel Dubois. With each victory, Usyk has solidified his status as one of the most dominant forces in the sport today. But for British fans, each defeat has felt like a blow to their hopes of having a true champion in the heavyweight division. Usyk's victory over Joshua in their 2 fights was expected to be a challenging test, but the Ukrainian left no doubt as to who was the better man in the ring. Then, of course, there was Dubois, who came into their first fight with plenty of hope and hype, only to leave the ring with a bruised ego and the lingering sting of controversy. This rematch isn't just about the belts for Usyk. It's about securing his legacy and proving once again that no one can stand in his way. For Dubois, It's a chance to erase the past and show the world that he belongs in the conversation with the best. The build-up to the fight is sure to be filled with tension, with both men pushing themselves to their absolute limits in the hopes of walking away with the crown. But at the end of the day, only one will come out on top. And with so much history on the line, this fight is sure to be one for the ages. The build-up to this rematch has been a whirlwind of anticipation, with fans, pundits, and fighters alike speculating on what will happen when Usyk and Dubois meet in the ring again. Usyk has spent the last few years establishing himself as one of the most skilled and intelligent heavyweights in the world. His technical mastery and ability to adapt to different styles have made him an incredibly difficult puzzle for anyone to solve. Whether he's fighting a seasoned champion or a rising contender, Usyk has a way of dismantling his opponents with precision and patience. For Dubois, this is a fight that could define his entire career. He knows the stakes are higher than ever, with the chance to prove that he has the skill and resilience to rise to the top of the division. However, to beat Usyk, he'll need more than just raw power. He'll need to outthink the Ukrainian and push him to places he's never been before. In the first encounter, Usyk's experience was on full display. He weathered the storm that Dubois brought in the early rounds, absorbing shots that would have sent many other fighters to the canvas. But what truly set Usyk apart was his ability to adjust on the fly. After the fifth-round controversy with the low blow, Usyk quickly regained control of the fight, systematically breaking down Dubois. It wasn't just about his technical ability, though. Usyk's composure in the face of adversity was a testament to his mental fortitude. Now Dubois has the difficult task of trying to avenge that defeat, all while knowing that Usyk has his number. The mental aspect of this fight is just as important as the physical one, and Dubois will need to go into this rematch with the confidence to challenge the champion, rather than merely hope for an opportunity to land a lucky punch. Location of the fight, Wembley Stadium, has added another layer of drama to the narrative. The venue is synonymous with some of the greatest moments in boxing history, but it's also a stage that demands a certain level of excitement and energy to make it worthwhile. There's a significant pressure on both Usyk and Dubois to create a spectacle that justifies such a massive venue. With both fighters coming off strong performances, the expectation is that the fight will deliver, but there's still an underlying doubt about whether it will capture the imagination of casual fans the way some of the sport's biggest matchups have in the past. Dubois, who has only recently gained momentum in his career, will have to prove to the fans that he belongs on that stage, and Usyk will have to show that he's not just another fighter, he's a dominant force in the heavyweight division. For the fans, the intrigue surrounding this rematch is undeniable. There are so many unanswered questions from the first fight that still linger in the air. Did Dubois really have Usyk in trouble? Was that body shot in the fifth round enough to change the course of the fight? Fans have had years to dissect the first encounter, and now they finally get the chance to see whether Dubois can build on what he started, or if Usyk will once again prove that his class is simply too much for the young Brit. The narrative of redemption for Dubois is compelling, but so too is the idea of Usyk continuing his dominance and proving that there's no one in the heavyweight division who can stop him. It's a fight that promises to be filled with drama, tension, and everything that makes boxing such a thrilling sport.